matter what challenges you face, you now face them together. The love between you joins you now as one. Before we begin, Juliana and Andrew want to acknowledge their parents. They express profound gratitude for all the love and care you showed in raising them. The unconditional gifts of love and support that you have given have inspired them to become who they are today, and they thank you from the bottom of their hearts for guiding them to this celebration of love. Without you, this day would not be possible. I will now ask Fletcher to come forward to read a passage by Frederick Buechner.
They say they will love, comfort, honor each other to the end of their days. They say they will cherish each other and be faithful to each other always. They say they will do these things not just when they feel like it, but even for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, when they don't feel like it at all. In other words, the vows they make could hardly be more extravagant. They give away their freedom. They take on themselves each other's burdens. They bind their lives together. Question is, what do they get in return? They get each other in return. There will always be the other to talk to listen to. There is still someone to get through the night with, to wake into the new day beside. They both still have their lives apart as well as a life together. They both still have their separate ways to find. But a marriage made in heaven is one where two people become more richly themselves together than the chances are either of them could ever have managed to become alone.
Juliana and Andrew, someone once said that deciding to marry is like following a magnificent hunch. This person is someone you love, and after years together, you know a lot about each other, but you'll come to know more in the time ahead. The companionship you'll share from this day on is the hallmark of marriage, its natural state, and its richest and most valuable gift. The contract of marriage that underpins that companionship is captured in its essence in the vows you are about to exchange. This contract is most solemn and must be entered into thoughtfully and seriously, with a deep awareness of its obligations and responsibilities. Mindful of the declarations you're making, and knowing that you'll be held to account for them, I'll now ask you to declare your intent to wed one another. Andrew, do you take Juliana to be your best friend, faithful partner, and one true love? Do you promise to encourage her, inspire her, and to love her truly through good times and bad? Do you promise to laugh with her, lift her up when she is down, and to love her unconditionally through all of your adventures in life together?
I do.
Juliana, do you take Andrew to be your best friend, faithful partner, and one true love? Do you promise to encourage him, inspire him, and to love him truly through good times and bad? Do you promise to laugh with him, lift him up when he is down, and to love him unconditionally through all of your adventures in life together?
I do.
Andrew and Juliana will now share with each other the vows that they have written.
Juliana, whenever I think about you, I'm reminded of just how lucky I am. You're creative, adventurous, affectionate, loyal, intelligent, and stunningly beautiful. I would do anything for you because I want to make you as happy as you make me. And so today, I pledge my life to you, knowing that you'll take good care of it. I promise to be true to you, to listen to you, to care for you, and to love you from this day until my last.
Andrew, I can't promise that every day of our lives together will be perfect. We're both stubborn people with strong opinions, and I may never grow to love vacuuming. But I can promise you a life of laughter and adventure, support and admiration. Together we will build a home full of warmth and welcome and cleaning ladies.
Michael? Michael, may I please have the ring? These rings are not the important thing that you give each other today. What you give each other that is important is your undying love, utter devotion, absolute trust, and total commitment. These things cannot be taken off, and they cannot be lost. They will be with you always. Andrew, as you place the ring on Juliana's finger, please repeat after me. With this ring, I marry you and bind my life to yours.
With this ring, I marry you and bind my life to yours.
It is a symbol of my eternal love and my everlasting friendship.
It is a symbol of my eternal love and everlasting friendship.
It is the promise of all my tomorrows.
It is the promise of all my tomorrows.
Juliana, as you place the ring on Andrew's finger, please repeat after me. With this ring, I marry you and bind my life to yours.
With this ring, I marry you and bind my life to yours.
It is a symbol of my eternal love and my everlasting friendship.
It is a symbol of my eternal love and everlasting friendship.
It is the promise of all my tomorrows.
It is the promise of all my tomorrows.
It is no secret that Juliana is a beer aficionado, and that Andrew has become one, too. So it's fitting that we use beer in a ritual in their wedding. And what a special beer they choose. This is an amber ale that they brewed themselves using equipment gifted to them by Amelia, the maid of honor. You're going to share sips of this special beer with help from Amelia and Michael.
So what's the ABV on that bad boy?
5%.
Go, go, go.
Yeah!
It's okay.
Pass it around.
As you've shared the beer, so you should share your lives. All its joys and happiness, its sorrows and sadness. And always be ready to raise a beer in toast and celebration. Juliana and Andrew, I'll close with some words for you, borrowed by Robert Fulgham. You have known each other from the first glance of acquaintance to this point of commitment, and at some point you decided to marry. From that moment of yes to this moment of yes, indeed you have been making commitments in an informal way. All those conversations that were held in a car, or over a meal, or during long walks, all those conversations that began with, when we're married, and continue with, I will, and you will, and we will. All those late night talks that included someday, and somehow, and maybe, and all those promises that are unspoken matters of the heart. All these common things and more are the real process of a wedding. The symbolic vows that you have made are a way of saying to one another, you know all those things that we've promised and hoped and dreamed? Well, I meant it all, every word. Look at one another and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you have been many things to one another. Acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, dancing partner, even teacher. For you have learned much from one another these past few years. Now, you're stepping across a threshold of life, and things between you will never quite be the same. For after today, you shall say to the world, this is my husband, this is my wife. And so, with the authority vested in me by the state of Massachusetts, and with great joy, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Andrew, you may kiss your bride.
Ha ha ha.